Greetings and salutations. Welcome to another episode of 365 Days of Gaming. I appreciate you taking out time to check out this video. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Greatly appreciate it, so thank you in advance. Now we're doing superhero stuff, but I'm going to keep it DC because there's so much more Marvel. And I need you to see the DC stuff too, because DC has some solid games. And we're taking it back to the Super Nintendo, and it's a fighting game. So let's talk about Justice League Task Force. Something I didn't point out previously about another DC Super Nintendo game is that this and Death and Return of Superman are made by Blizzard, which is something that's kind of like, this is what they was on back in the day. Which you can see really isn't a bad thing because this game is not a bad game. It is very different. It is unique. I haven't seen or played a fighting game quite like it. The closest thing I can think of is the TMNT Tournament Fighters, which will have its own day. But this game it's a game I used to rent. That's the other thing. It's a rental. And it had like a story mode, which was really cool because even back then, I would enjoy fighting games more when I knew there was a purpose to the fighting and not just person versus person, get it in. I will still fight. Don't worry. I'll still, play it, but I won't enjoy it as much if we don't have a story. And it was easy to jump into because it's superhero stuff. So I'm like, cool, we get some DC stuff. I at that point I had played like Marvel superheroes. This is like 96. I had my SNES for a good little bit because that was a fantastic system, my favorite system. But yeah, the selection of heroes, pretty good. You get Aquaman, Batman, Flash, Superman, Green Arrow, not Green Lantern, which seems kind of weird now, but back in the day, this made a lot more sense. Green Lantern wasn't popping like that. And then you have Wonder Woman as well as some villains to go in there. We got to throw a couple villains in there, right? And I really like this game. I like Flash a lot in this game. I like Green Arrow a lot because he's got freezing arrow. But the cool thing is you kind of notice that you can feel the play styles of each of the characters, right? So while you're playing with Flash, for example, he is quick. Like he just moves quicker. But then you have somebody like Superman who you can feel kind of the strength of Superman. Same with like if you play with Darkseid or Despero, like those people, they kind of seem heavier. They got more weight to their moves. For you fighting game nerds, the startup frames for a lot of the heavier people's moves are a little slower, right? But then you have somebody like Cheetah, like I said, Flash, even Batman, that you see the quickness. Green Arrow, for example, you see the quickness in their moves. So you gotta, there's some contrast there. But yeah, to me, there's no bad character in this game. I mean, Wonder Woman's really cool because she used the lasso. Green Arrow has different types of arrows, ice and fire, basically. Superman even has the ice breath. Batman has, tools and whatnot. Also, he's got those hands, so get at him. And, the stages and stuff were really cool. The graphics were like its own style. It was not necessarily realistic, but it had less color than some of the Marvel things. So I thought that was really cool. So this was a game that, I would rent and, I try to put people on to it from time to time, but it's not like, one of the most classic fighters, but it was cool for its time. I really had hoped that games like this, as we went into like the PlayStation 64 days, would keep going, but since they didn't, they kind of fall by the wayside. There has been a really cool community that have done some mods to this and the TMNT games together to make like TMNT Justice League games, which I thought were really cool. Like, yeah, obviously it's mod, so it's not 100%, to me on the level, but I get it. I'm glad that people are still doing cool things like that. So just wanted to show some love to a game that, again, don't hear much about, but also like it's comic book stuff and we like comic book stuff. So why not talk about the games if they are worth talking about? And I think this one is. So if you know about this game, let me know who you were running with. And, you got to see my Flash one day. But as always, I appreciate you letting me take time to reminisce with you. Y'all have fun. Y'all be safe.